This is the Global People's Dialogue in Sri Lanka. I'm Uchita D'Souza, another day. And with me is Olande Anandathero. Sir, tell us who you are.
Well, from the outside, I'm a Buddhist monk, born in Holland, living in Sri Lanka. I've been into this now over 30 years. It started out my search for some kind of spiritual happiness, inner peace and happiness, by being actually dissatisfied with what I was doing, what I was studying, what I thought the world was becoming. I was fed up with politics, especially after 1968, Chicago, and also with my economics and sociology studies of developing countries. I thought, it's not basically the economists and the sociologists who decide what is happening in the world, but rather the multinationals and the politicians and perhaps the weapons producers. And that led me to search for some inner peace and happiness through yoga, Hinduism, meditation, and then coming to Buddhism. And there I found that, in order to change the world, which I wanted to actually do because I thought it was an unfair place, one would have to start basically within oneself. And in this kind of meditation, insight meditation, using mindfulness as a tool for becoming aware of what's happening, first in oneself, but also in the world, I found that there can be a kind of solution to the problem through practicing mindfulness, and that is what I'm now sharing with other people.
What is mindfulness?
Well, first of all, mindfulness is not, by the way, a mind full of things, but of course that you knew already, but some people have their minds full of things, and that is just the opposite of mindfulness, I would say. If we have a mind full of ideas and concepts and conclusions and a lot of knowledge but no insight, no wisdom, then that could become a real obstacle. And mindfulness in our sense of the word, let's say the Buddhist sense of the word, means awareness, attention, a kind of observation which is free from prejudice, free from concept, free from conclusions, to see the things as they really are.
Do you see this in our world today?
Mindfulness? Well, here and there. I think there's more people having their minds full of things than people practicing mindfulness, but there are growing numbers of people using mindfulness and practicing mindfulness, and even having mindfulness-based stress reduction therapies and things like that. You see, mindfulness has become a mainstream sort of word in the vocabulary, whereas it was not like that maybe even 15 to 20 years ago.
We find people surrounded with material comfort and more requirement for material comfort. And at some stage in life, they go into positions of trying to find the peace in mind. What is the difference between trying to find peace in mind and finding mindfulness?
Well, to find peace in mind or peace of mind, some people do certain kind of mental exercises, like repeating a mantra, for instance, or thinking about something beautiful, positive thinking, or different kinds of techniques, I would say, to make one's mind peaceful. That would be one way of finding peace of mind, but very often I feel it leads to only a peace of the mind and not real peace of mind, if you see the difference, with I-E-C-E and the other one E-A-C-E. Peace of mind is different from having just a piece of the mind. Now, what I mean to say is, when we practice some kind of mantra or focusing our attention on one particular thing, like getting concentrated on some object or some theme, like loving kindness meditation, for instance, then we may fill our mind or our consciousness with that particular object or with that particular subject or with that particular quality temporarily, as long as we have that kind of concentration and practice that kind of contemplation. But when we finish that exercise, we're back to square one. Whereas mindfulness is supposed to be practiced, full time. Maybe not when we are in deep sleep or when we're not really, awake, but during the waking hours, not only as a kind of sitting formal meditation practice, but also in the application of mindfulness in daily life, to know what one is doing, to know what one is saying, to know also what one is thinking.
So, you are saying mindfulness is a process of conscious awareness, creating conscious awareness of the mind, and the mind being controlled by what?
Well, it's not so much of a control in a sense of I trying to control my mind. A lot of people actually try to do that, but they get into trouble in that way because there's always me and the thing that is to be controlled, and there's always a conflict then and some kind of direction and also a certain circumference because there is a center, and therefore there's a limitation in that. But mindfulness as a factor of our mind, which is, I think, the least conditioned factor in our mind. We have conditioned factors and we have less conditioned factors, and we have the unconditioned. Maybe that is what we are trying to realize in a way, the unconditioned, go beyond our conditionings in a way. That would be to realize nirvana. But on this side, we have mindfulness as the least conditioned factor in the sense that it's not made up of some kind of a thought or an idea or a concept. It's just a neutral awareness, observation.